Jungkook won the EMA. Did you know that? Like he just won the best K-pop MTV EMA. Yeah.
Whoa, I had no idea. Hi, we are.
NoonaTalk.
I'm Zara,
And I'm Sophia.
and we are ready to take a deep dive into the golden waters of Jeon Jungkook's debut album. Woo, who knew this day would come?
Woo!
But
Not
before
me.
we get into
We've
all of
talked about this,
Luna
and I
Talk,
feel like we never expected Golden to actually happen.
before we get into all of our opinions about Golden, we are Noona Talk, a podcast where we talk about K-pop, K-culture, K-drama. We are here every 2 weeks on YouTube and on all podcasting platforms. So if you want an audio version, there's that as well. Remember to give this video a like and remember to subscribe for all our other videos, which are linked below. We're also on Instagram at Noona Talk, exactly like it sounds, where we do lots of really fun content. So go check us out there. Let's get back to Jeon Jungkook because I have so many thoughts.
Okay, let's start with initial thoughts. Like when you heard that he's gonna release an album versus when you heard the album preview. Thoughts.
Oh, miles apart, because I feel like the two singles that came out initially, which were 3D and 7, if I may be so brave, were very disappointing to me. Were
Mhm.
extremely disappointing. I feel like 7 was still okay, but 3D was so disappointing. So I was just like not invested. I was like, okay, album.
Yeah, I agree. I I actually like Seven, and I wasn't that invested in 3D. Like it was okay, whatever, Bob. But it did not set very high expectations as an album. But when I heard the album preview, my jaw was on the floor. And I'm gonna talk about this later. What it did sound like when we're gonna get into the album review. But it reminded me of something which was also similar, which and like music that I wasn't expecting to like, but I ended up liking.
Yeah, let's get into it. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay. So
then
first track,
what's the track
3D.
list?
I've already said my piece on this. I didn't enjoy it. I thought it
Mm-hmm.
was
Do you have
very
any
lame.
thoughts about the controversial Jack Harlow lyrics?
Of course. But okay, this is something that I've been thinking about for a while. And I know a lot of people don't agree with me, where they really like 7 and they really like 3D. And here's why. I was not the demographic for this song. This song was not written for me as an audience member. I am, and majority, there's a lot of reasons, but majority of it is that I feel like wanting to have sex with Jungkook was important to like these songs. I, aside from that one time where he had great hair, have never fallen into that category. So 3D and 7 have always been a skip for me.
It was okay. Like nothing about 3D really gave. I didn't care about the Jack Harlow lyrics because I've heard his music, and his music is like a little whatever dumb. But moving on to Closer to You featuring Major Lazer. Thoughts?
Shocked, first of all. Major Laser? Or did you mean Bad Bunny? Like, I'm honestly, the reggaeton was something that I didn't see coming. And I
Yeah.
think, given what I have seen of Jungkook's output so far, this album, like, I mean, it's too soon to right now just like say it, but I'm just going to. This album gave me the same pl- conundrum that Mott 7 does, where I don't know what to file it under. Like, it's not a genre specific album at all.
Mhm.
And this is such a good example of it. The Dembao rhythm is done so well in this. Like, this one was
I
written for like the twerking girlies.
it was written for the party girlies, and I feel like when I first heard this, I was like, is there a feature on this? I was like, Major Lazer is not a singing artist. So who's singing? And it's Jungkook.
Okay,
But
next is 7.
okay,
I feel like
next
we've talked a
is
little bit about 7 already.
okay. And we do have a reaction for Seven. So if you really want to know what we thought about the entire song and the MV, you should read.
Lyrically, this was probably the most disappointing album for me. There was nothing interesting genre, like in terms of content. This is again very,
Yeah.
very well documented in our entire podcast for 3 seasons. I have talked about this. Men singing about love is never going to be my thing. And this entire album is very dedicated to that. And I know Jungkook has talked about like choosing love as a theme for the universality of it, which is true, but
Yeah.
it's just boring. And on top of that, if your lyrics are also just like memories on the floor, then thanks.
I agree. And I also feel like, when I was thinking of the review and what my thoughts were, I was collecting my thoughts. I did not even consider the lyrics. Like, that's how I think irrelevant the lyrics are to this.
And also for it to be an all English album, how surprised were you?
After listening to the two singles, I wasn't very surprised. I think it was kind of rumors were there and things, but what I do expect is maybe we can discuss this later. What if there is later in the books a full Korean album up there? Why not? Why not? Throwing it out
Oh.
there.
Next,
Moving
standing
on.
next to you.
Okay, jaws on the floor. I'm not even gonna talk about the video because no, but like I heard the song and I was like, Jeon Jungkook. Like, we discussed our ranking and we were like, maybe Jungkook's not gonna be my favorite. Oh my god, oh my god. The way this is one of my favorite whatever,
Solos.
chapter two yeah, title tracks. Like, oh my god.
Yeah,
It's
agreed.
so good.
Hard agree. This was phenomenal. The Arctic Monkey inspired bass line with the
Yes. With
like
the
with the
weekend
rhythmic,
Daft Punk vibe, like the musicality of it was so Daft Punk.
yes, with the rhythmic guitar of Snow Patrol or like something from one of those like really pop punky bands. And
Yeah.
it was so interesting where it was the sound and the MV are both extremely referential, but then create this very unique thing.
This is the one where, everyone's like, oh, Jungkook's trying to give a mature vibe. I think the mature vibe really came through in this because there wasn't only like maturity in the singing, which was, oh my God, incredible, but just the entire song's production and the melodies layering lyrically. I feel like this was super mature, but like it was so good.
It
Oh
was
my God.
refined. It
Yeah, it
was
was so
refined
refined.
Jungkook. Sorry, when the singles came out, I
Yeah.
was, like we've said, disappointed. And I kept holding on. I was like, no, this is the same boy that made Stay. That's inside him. Something good is coming out. And Standing Next to You came out. And I was like,
Yeah.
thank you. Okay, yes or no? Next.
This I was actually surprised by. I was not expecting to like the Ed Sheeran song. I'm just gonna put it out there
Mm.
because Ed Sheeran for me is always a hit or miss. He's a really good songwriter, but I'm not always into his songwriting. But it was a good song. It was pleasant. I did enjoy it, but it's not the kind of song that I would probably go back to. Does that make
Yeah, no, I think I agree. You're right. Lyrically, I did expect more just because it was the Ed Sheeran song, and I believe he's also played the guitar track in the song itself,
yeah.
which I don't want to be mean, but that could have been played by anybody. But it felt like a
Yeah.
good transition for the way that you said, like the album's built in a in a narrative. I feel
Hmm.
like the yes or no was in a good point for the narrative to switch without it being like really hard hitting. And that point
Yeah.
of the album, it's a good place to be. Okay, please don't change featuring DJ Snake.
Okay, I have some thoughts about the song, and I have these thoughts about like a lot of the other songs in the album where I feel like because Jungkook went a pop route and he a lot of this is inspired by the music that he likes and he has listened to and he often recommends and plays. So a lot of the songs I can actually pull like who like in the style of XYZ artist, and I don't know if you'd agree, but this is such a classic Rihanna song. Like, imagine Rihanna singing this song.
Yeah, I don't think I agree, but probably because when I heard this song, it felt like those stock songs that Netflix plays in the back of its reality TV shows. Like,
Yeah, with
I
the
would not be surprised if, like,
island
when they have
vibe.
those like drone shots and they transition to the next scene and they're just like random four lines of some song that exists out there play. This was that song.
Mhm.
Like, this was just ambient noise song for me.
Okay. I did enjoy it. I think for me again, like it's got very island vibes, which is a DJ Snake speciality.
Of
And
course.
I'll finally talk about what this album also reminds me of. This album reminds me a lot about that Justin Bieber album where there was a DJ Snake song, where there was an Ed Sheeran song, and it was like super diverse. And I wasn't the biggest Justin Bieber fan, but that album really made me like it. And Scooter Braun was also behind that album, which
I was
helped
just
make
about to
it
say it's
like
Scooter Braun.
exactly. So I think there is like a formula of making the pop boy
Pop boy
better
thing.
music. Pop boy, but like
Mm.
good music pop boy. And I think there's definitely a dearth of the it pop boy right now. So maybe I mean Jungkook could
Yeah, that's a
definitely
good
fill up that
point.
space.
I think just because of my bias against men who cry about love.
I was just gonna ask.
Yeah, this was such a like I listened to it. I do think it's a good song. It's just I personally cannot enjoy this, but I don't think it's a
Mhm.
bad song at all. I genuinely think there's really interesting like vocal work that Jungkook has done in this.
I agree. I think his vocal work is excellent, but I kind of want to build upon your like idea of just like not just boys singing about sad songs, but I think all albums have that one ballad track TM, and it's at some point it's unless you're super into ballads, it's okay, or if you're super into mood, you have to work really hard to make it interesting. And I think a lot of that, while vocally you can do a lot of that also relies on the production and the melodies.
Mm,
And I feel like this
mm.
kind of falls flat, or
Flat.
lyrically even. Like it needs more to be a standout ballad or like heartbreak sad song, slow
Yeah,
jam
this is
track.
K drama OST. Okay, next, somebody. What do you think?
Okay, I love the song. I love it. It's just like vibey R&B-ish dance, sad, like sad at the crying at the club vibes. I think that's what it gave me, and I really like it. But I also think again reminds me this could have been a Drake song. Like you get the vibes.
This is my favorite track on the album. Like the
Also,
minute I heard it, I mean, actually, it was one of my like, it was growing to be one of mine, and then I heard a Neo song that reminded me of this, like really similar
oh, which
sound.
one?
I wish you hadn't compared it to Drake because that's
I think
definitely
the
sound
Drake
our relation.
comparison, now that you've said the Neo thing, makes sense because Neo is like one of the OGs of like
Major
club R&B.
inspirations.
Yeah, like so I think, and now it's Drake, so I'm just referring.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed somebody. Somebody feels like, if I may be so bold, it's definitely made for the gay club. Okay,
So it
next,
was
too
supposed
sad
to
to
come out next.
dance.
Okay, this again reminds me of the Justin Bieber song "Love Yourself." Like
It is absolutely that song. It is that song. You are
hmm.
right. They have just changed the vocals. That's it.
Yeah, like I feel the tempo is similar, the instrumentals, the snaps, like
The instrumental, the minute the song started, I actually checked my phone because I wasn't sure if I was listening to the right song. Which brings me to a great point about Jungkook, where like I feel right now either he hasn't found his sound. I don't know if that's accurate to say, or he's just that malleable in his skill that he's able to sort of mold himself to different archetypes of like, so how 3D is Justin Timberlake, or
yeah.
this was Justin Bieber. Lots of Justins. Okay, next. And the final song of the album, Short Glass of Tears.
This was my preferred heartbreak song of the album between this and the other one, Hate You. Because first of all, very creative name, love it. Very like Ashik, Instagram, sad boy, TM. But also, there's like more of a boppy element to this. Yes. There's more of a boppy element to this song, and I also think this would be great. I don't know if Jungkook's gonna do a concert, but this is a great end of the concert song. Like everyone's like with their flashlights in the air, being like, yeah.
This, for some reason, and I'm not really able to put my finger on why I feel this way, but it felt the most Jungkook song. Like maybe
Hmm.
it's the vocal stylings which were more true to what he has done in the past.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because we know he's a
Sad boy TM.
drama queen. Yeah, the sad boy TM to comes very hard through. Like college pyar chuta hai.
Hmm.
vibes. I'm not sure what it is, which really makes me feel like this is the most Jungkook song. This one's for the crying girlies.
Yeah, it's for the sad girlies, the heartbroken girl.
Is giving that. Okay, now that we've come to the end of the album, and this is our sixth deep dive into Bangtan albums. Whoa,
Hmm.
don't worry,
Wow.
there is a seventh coming. Where would you rank this album in the six?
I like this album, but there are just other albums that I like way more. And obviously, because I've had the time to grow with them, so that makes more sense. But this is maybe not in the top three. Like, this was a great surprise. Like, I was very pleasantly surprised by Jungkook's output, and I wasn't expecting to like it. And it did like it exceeded a lot of expectations that I had, and I can't wait for more. And I'm very curious what that more looks like, which direction, because you said there's not a specific sound. So when there's more, what is the direction that's going to? But just to end it, give me like your favorite song, your biggest skip, and one song you think is a grower on you.
Grower. Okay.
Mhm.
My favorite song I've already said is Somebody. My biggest skip is 3D. Unsurprising.
Mhm.
Biggest grower, I think, Closer to You. Like I,
Okay.
I enjoyed it, but I didn't expect to go back to it as much because I'm not like an Afrobeats girly. Like I'm not. That's not my main genre that I enjoy so as much. But I have gone back to it several times now. What about you?
Interesting. So for me, it's between standing next to you and closer to you, which are the biggest like favorites. Somebody is my grower, and Skip is definitely 3D. I'm not listening to it.
Yeah, that we definitely share the sentiment there. What did you think about Jungkook's
Yeah.
album? Let us know in the comments below. Which was your favorite track, and did you, if at all, have any skips? Because I've been hearing a lot of people say no skips. Do I believe that? Let's see. We will be back with a brand new episode in exactly 2 weeks. Will it be our seventh deep dive? Will it be a K food episode? Who knows? Remember to subscribe, like this video, and go if you're on any podcasting platforms, leave us 5 stars. And we will be back. I was Zara.
And I was Sophia. We'll see you next time. Bye.